So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 2 of our World Circular Economy Forum, second edition, Visions to 2050. I'm Peter Woodward, independent facilitator. My job with my wonderful colleague to guide you through a day full of interest, value, and challenge.
So, good morning to all again, and Yukari Takamura, University of Tokyo. I'm very happy to work as a moderator with Peter Yu.
Fantastic. So, today you have 4 wonderful opportunities. We have a plenary session now, 2 breakout parallel sessions, and then an unmissable plenary session at the end of the afternoon when we bring it all together. So we have a richness of conversation. And when I looked at the program, I said, this is the session. I say that about all the sessions, but the issue of consuming whatever we consume, because we like to consume, we're all thinking, how do we make it circular? How do we make it wonderful? All the rest of it. But we're going to have some very interesting presentations and thoughts about how we support more consumable lifestyles. We may even touch on the issue of what it is to be a consumer. And what am I consuming? And why do I keep wanting to consume? Interesting topic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And also, this is maybe one of the fascinating sessions over 2 days forum. I mean, we have 3, leading business leader, the Mercari and Unilever and Coca-Cola. So that's, I think, I'm personally looking forward to their presentation as well.
Right, but quite enough for us. We're going to offer you some very interesting thoughts and presentations. So we're going to start straight off. Again, our wonderful friends from Sitra in Finland have been doing a lot of work about sustainable lifestyles and consumption and production issues. And to kick us off with some thoughts, the project director from Sitra, Marcus Teho, is here to frame our conversation. Great to have you with us, Marcus.
Thank you. Good morning, Yokohama. It's my pleasure to be here, and I'll try and elaborate this morning based on 2 things. I've been inspired by a late comedian called George Carlin and his wonderful insights into what it is to be a human being. And the second inspiring thing is actually the work that we've done at the Finnish Innovation Fund on sustainable lifestyles, and the team that we have, and also the international and domestic partners that we work with to create sustainable everyday into a new practice, not only in Finland, but also globally. When we think about the role of an individual, we actually have many different roles, each and every one of us. We are at home, we are at work, maybe we do some hobbies, we belong to clubs, we interact with many, many people. And we, as individuals, we are the smallest decision-making unit on this planet. But we can influence a lot of people. And that often is forgotten when we talk about systemic changes, changes to regulations that we need in a global space to make sustainability a reality in the next 10 years. But the key really is that how do each and every single one of us think about our role in this puzzle? So we can decide what we do if our spouses and families allow us to make those decisions, or we can influence a big number of people. But there's a big change that needs to take place. If we take a look at this picture, you can see major countries in the world, and why we consume as we do is based on a few things. You can see on the far left-hand side countries where happiness is built around the fact that how much stuff we buy. On the right-hand side, we have countries that are currently below the target level that we have for CO2 emissions for 2030. And there we are still trying to meet the basic needs of individuals. But once those needs of security, food, drink, and shelter are covered, we tend to want to have more stuff. And this starts very early. When we are born, we learn two basic things: how to hold our head up and look at the world, and then we learn how to sit. After we've mastered these two basic skills, the next thing we notice is stuff around us. We'll take a ball, we'll take a doll, and get familiar with stuff. A little bit later on, our parents take us on our first play date, and we meet little Timmy. And we see that Timmy has some stuff. And we go and grab Timmy's stuff, because he must have better stuff than we have. So we take his stuff, and our journey with gathering more and more stuff starts. Why is this? Human beings, we are simple animals. We are hunter-gatherers, which means that we wander around the world looking for stuff. And this continues. So we go to school, we come back from school, and we learn new skills. We learn how to argument that we need more stuff. So we meet our parents, and we convince them that everyone else in the school has a lot of stuff that we don't have, and we need that stuff. And this continues and continues. We go to work, we work very hard, we make money in order to buy more stuff. Once we have enough stuff, we need to consider to buy a bigger home for our ever-increasing amount of stuff. And this continues. We need a new car so that we can bring along as much stuff as we need when we go somewhere. And even when we travel abroad, we are limited by the number of stuff we can bring with us when we travel. And this continues. And therefore, it will be a really big challenge for the world to get rid of this basic idea that happiness is built around the fact that how much stuff do we buy. And we think that there are ways of getting to this target of roughly 3,000 kilograms of CO2 equivalent per capita by 2030. But it means that we really need to take a serious, hard look at the way that we try to make ourselves happy and successful in the world. You can see also in this picture that majority of the emissions reductions need to happen by the individual or the household consumption. On top of that, there are things that need to happen in terms of building carbon sinks, if we are talking about CO2, but same familiar pattern is true for other precious resources. And now I can't go to the next slide. There we go. So, does it have any specific importance that we change our behavior, each and every one of us? If we take the case of Finland, and this is true for every country that has signed the Paris Agreement, we have committed to a minimum of cutting 40% of our CO2 emissions by 2030. In Finland, we have 2.6 million households. And if one person in each of the households is able to cut their environmental impact by 20%, we can contribute to 37% of our Paris target agreement. If we get 2 persons in each household to cut 20% of their environmental impact, we can contribute to 73% of our Paris targets as a nation, which means that the systemic changes that need to take place, there's less pressure on them. So I think there's a hidden potential in each and every country that is currently above the 3,000 kilogram limit of CO2 to look at what individuals can do. And those things are related to 4 things that we do every single day. So we need to eat, we live somewhere, we move about in the world, and we buy products and services. Those 4 categories contribute to the environmental impact of the individual. And changes there can have a significant impact. There are a few things that we've noticed that Finns get excited about. We've offered 100 different things you can do in your everyday life in a different manner that come with a lower environmental impact. Unfortunately, in Western worlds, less than 10% of us are primarily motivated by saving the world or lowering our environmental impact. We have other motivational factors that drive our everyday decision-making each single day. We tend to think that we are making decisions based on facts, but majority of the decisions that we make every single day are not really something that we consider and ponder for a long time. Think about your regular Monday. You wake up, you make yourself presentable, eat breakfast, go to work, go to school, eat lunch, work, maybe go do some hobbies, go back home, go to sleep, and so forth. This continues every day, and more than 50% of our everyday actions happen the exact same way every single day, which is a challenge and an opportunity. So if we are able to introduce a new habit with a lower environmental impact, that is connected to a primary motivation that you have, which may be to increase your well-being, to live healthier, be happier, or do things together with other people because it's fun, or you want to share your knowledge, or you want to save time, avoid hassle, save money. If we can meet those needs and couple that action with a lower environmental impact, we can get people interested. In order to do that, we've calculated the environmental impact of 100 things and then introduced a test for your lifestyle. So how sustainable is your lifestyle? Why did we do this? Based on our studies, we found that actually people who think and feel that they are living in a sustainable manner, they are more happy in their everyday life. Therefore, we can start to have a positive dialogue on the actions that you can increase and do more of instead of concentrating on limiting and lowering and getting rid of bad activities. So if you want to get a person to drive less with their car, which we know is a major contributor to the mobility-related environmental impacts, no one gets excited about the fact that if you tell them that drive less with your car. But if you can show them the health benefits, well-being benefits of bicycling or walking to work, to school, or any short distances that you travel, then we are able to convince people to change their habits. And I'll conclude with looking at 4 different things that Finns are most interested about. And the first one is related to, on the bottom, is related to our living habits. So buying things that lower energy consumption at home. That's something of interest to Finns. The second is very hard, but apparently very interesting, is to consider to become a vegetarian. And then the third one is to look at your flying habits. And those of us who fly a lot, there's a lot that we can do to lower our environmental impact if we get rid of just one long-haul flight a year. That takes away 21% of our individual environmental impact per year. But we need a lot more companies to offer more products, services, and solutions that in a proven manner lower environmental impact of the individual, but they have to be more desirable, accessible to people, and they have to be bold. Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Telfo, for excellent presentation. Now I'd like to invite Fumiaki Koizumi, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Mercari. The Mercari is, especially in Japan, it is very familiar with the people. They create a marketplace where anyone could exchange the things that they wish to maybe throw away, but that are valuable for certain persons. So that I'd like to invite Mr. Koizumi. So you take the floor. Thank you.
ありがとうございます。おはようございます。メルカリの小泉です。よろしくお願いします。メルカリというですね、日本での新しいスタートアップ並びにこのスタートアップがどのような形で、環境に対するこのサーキュレーションのエコノミーとビジネスを両立させているかという話をさせていただければというふうに思っております。私たちの会社は5年前に作った会社でございまして、現在東京とアメリカ、イギリスと3拠点で行っておりますけれども、アメリカとイギリスはまだスタートフェーズなんですので、東京が非常に事業のメインのところになっております。私たちが5年前に会社を作ったきっかけですが、ここに出ている男はですね、山田という私たちのファウンダーです。彼並びに私はですね、一時期世界を旅していました。その中である国においては非常に多くのものが捨てられていて、非常に物にあふれている。ただ一方である国においては非常に物が捨てられていて、非常に貧困で貧しい、非常にギャップがある。ただ一方で世界を旅してみると非常に多くの国でスマートフォンというデバイスは使われている。その中で私たちはこのスマートフォンというパワフルなツールを使ってこの世界の中にあるこの富と貧富のこのギャップを埋める、そういうサービスを作りたいというふうに思いこのメルカリを作りました。その中で私たちのミッションとしてはここに書かれているような新たな価値を作る世界的なマーケットプレイスを作りたいというふうに思っています。この新たな価値を作るというところは、ある人にとっては価値がなくなってしまったものがある人にとっては価値がある、その価値のギャップというのが存在していると思っていまして、この価値のギャップというものをメルカリというサービスを通してですね、人々をつなげ循環させていきたいと、そういうふうに考えてこのサービスを作っています。サービスの概要でございますけれども、スマートフォンのアプリになっています。向かって左側がですね、ホーム画面という形ですけれども、このような形でですね、いろんな商品が出品されています。今だいたい1日100万品の商品が出品されていまして、さまざまなジャンル、例えば女性もののアパレルから、男性のスポーツ用品でありますとか、家電でありますとか、家具、多くのものが出品されています。出品する方はすべて個人の方でして、私たちは法人の方々の出品を認めていません。すべて個人の方々が家の中にあるいらなくなったものであるとか、着なくなってしまったような子どもの服などをスマートフォンを使って簡単に出品できるようにしています。出品にはこの一番右のページにありますように、右下にですね、出品をするボタンが、カメラのボタンがありますけれども、このカメラのボタンをタップしていただきますと、カメラが起動され、そのカメラで商品を撮ります。その商品を撮りますと、その次の画面でですね、商品の内容でありますとか、もしくはサイズでありますとか、あとは商品の値段ですね。そのようなものをユーザーが入力し、大体3分ぐらいあれば、ユーザーが商品を入力することが可能になっています。今では AI でありますとか、画像認識のテクノロジーを使っていますので、例えば G-SHOCK の時計をですね、メルカリで出品しようと思い、カメラをですね、かざしますと、自動的に商品名でありますとか、もしくは過去の商品のですね、売買のデータベースから、このくらいの値段だったら売れるというような価格のサジェストができるようになっていまして、テクノロジーを使って誰でも簡単に商品を出品できるようにしております。 でこの出品に関しては手数料を取っておりませんで、多くの方々が無料でご利用いただけるようになっています。で私たちのサービスとしましては、その売買が成立した際に手数料の 10% をいただくと、商品のですね、値段の 10% を手数料を置いていただくというモデルをしていまして、売り手と買い手の間に入ることによってビジネスが成立しているといった会社になっています。現在ですね、日本、アメリカ、イギリス、3拠点で1億ダウンロードを突破しておりまして、月間のアクティブユーザー、こちらは日本のみですけれども、月間1000万人以上の人がアクティブに利用している状況です。また、年間のですね、流通高に関しましても、非常に順調に伸びておりまして、年間3700億円の流通がされています。大体今、月間で300億円から400億円の流通高がある状況でして、日本の中でいうと、アマゾン、楽天、ヤフーについて4番目の多くの流通高を誇っているサービスになっています。ただ、先ほど申したように私たちの場合は、個人間の取引でございますので、私たちは一切在庫を抱えているビジネスモデルではありません。個人の方々が出品し、それが売買されている状況ですので、非常に私たちはプラットフォームというふうに考えておりまして、多くの個人の方々がメルカリを通じて売買を楽しんでいらっしゃるといった状況になっております。会社を作って5年ですけれども、非常に認知率も高まっている状況でございまして、私たちが創業の時にですね、作ったスローガンで、捨てるをなくすという言葉を作っていまして、物を捨てるというそういう社会をやめたいなというふうに思っているんですけれども、徐々にそれに近づいていっているというふうには思っております。これがですね、日本の今の二次流通、不用品のマーケットサイズでありますけれども、一番左側のこの赤い部分がメルカリの流通高でして、年間ですね、大体 60% ぐらい成長していますので、非常に順調に伸びてはいるんですけれども、一番右のですね、この 7.6 兆円の部分、こちらがですね、これは経産省並びに環境省の方々が出しているデータなんですけれども、日本の中で捨てられているもの、もしくは使わなくなってしまったものが年間どのぐらい生み出されているかという指標になっています。7.6 兆円のものがですね、毎年のように捨てられている、もしくは使われないといった環境になっておりまして、私たちが非常に伸びているというのもですね、徐々にまだまだですね、非常に小さい、伸びているんですけども、まだまだ取れるマーケットというか、捨てられているということが起きているんじゃないかなというふうに思ってますので、徐々に文化として捨てるをなくすというのに近づいてはいっているんですが、まだ道半ばの部分もあるんじゃないかなというふうに思っています。でメルカリの登場以降ですね、大きく2つのことが起きています。一つはですね、特に若い人たちを中心に起きているんですけれども、新しいものを買うときにですね、メルカリでいくらで売れるから買うと、二次流通で物を売ることを前提に一次流通で商品を買うということが起きています。結果として高いブランドの商品がかなり買われるようになってきている状況です。これは自動車であるとか不動産のような二次流通がこれまで存在したマーケットにおいては、高い車であるとか高い不動産というものを買う方々も多かったと思うんですけれども、メルカリの登場以降、例えばアパレルでありますとか1000円2000円のものでさえメルカリで二次流通で物が売れるからこの商品を買おうといった形になっていまして、常に捨てるんではなくて次の人に渡す、もしくは売買するといったことを前提に消費が行われています。またメルカリの登場以降ですね、この周辺の産業も非常に伸びてきている状況でございまして、例えばこれ100円ショップなど日本にいくつかあるんですけれども、100円ショップで包装する、例えば箱ですとかもしくはラッピングするようなもの、そういうようなものが非常に売れていたりでありますとか、もしくは右下にあるのはリペアですね、服であるとか靴であるとかバッグであるとか、メルカリで買った後にですね、このリペアの店に持って行ってその商品を直してさらに使う、もしくは商品を出品する前に一度リペアショップに出して商品をきれいにしてからメルカリに出品する、そんなことが起きていまして、リペアの会社が非常に今伸びているといった状況が起きています。私たちの考える社会、今後の社会というのは、やはりその大量に物が作られ、大量に捨てていく社会というのは長続きしないだろうなというふうに考えておりまして、 物が永続的に使われ、人の間をですね、所有されずに利用されて、シェアされることによって、継続的な経済活動でありますとか、サステナブル社会が描かれるというふうに考えておりますので、メルカリを通じて物の売買、並びにこの周辺の産業が伸びるというのが今後も起きていくだろうなというふうに考えています。今後のですね、私たちの将来戦略ではあるんですけれども、当然日本での成長、今年間大体50から 60% ぐらい伸びていますけれども、当然この成長率というのをさらに維持したいなというふうに考えておりますし、2点目がですね、日本の中でも新しいプロダクトを提供する予定になっていまして、そのプロダクトを通したエコシステムを作っていきたいというふうに思っています。で、最後は当然グローバルでの展開です。日本においてもですね、まだまだユーザーのですね、ユーザーエクスペリエンス改善できるというふうに思っておりまして、先ほど申した AI でありますとか画像認識を使いまして、より誰でも簡単に出品できる、そのような社会、そのようなものを作っていきたいというふうに思っておりますし、いろんなカテゴリーがより出品されることによってユーザーの拡大が見込まれるというふうに思っております。2点目がですね、エコシステムでございまして、こちらが次のメルカリの大きなチャレンジだというふうに思っておりますけれども、メルカリでですね、売られたお金ですね、商品が売買されたお金というのが、月間今300億円から400億円あるというふうに話しましたけれども、この300億円から400億円というのをですね、今、スマートフォンのアプリ上にある状況でして、それを銀行のですね、口座に皆さんは大体引き落としているんですけれども、モバイルアプリ上でそのサービス、このメルカリの新しいメルペイというサービスを通して、コンビニエンスストアで商品が買えるでありますとか、もしくはデパートで商品が買えるでありますとか、いろんなところでですね、そのメルカリで物を売ったお金でですね、いろんな店舗で物を買えるような、そういうような社会を築いていきたいなというふうに思っています。で、ここでやりたいこととしましては、メルカリでですね、その売る動機としまして、今まではその自分の銀行口座に落ちてくるだけだったんですけども、ダイレクトに買えるようになっていますと、もっとですね、メルカリで物を売ろうという動機になるかなというふうに思っておりまして、よりですね、メルカリで物を売って、そのお金でですね、コンビニエンスストアで物を買うでありますとか、いろんな消費の活動にお金が流れていけばいいなというふうに思っていますので、よりですね、メルカリのこの流通高を増やすためのこのエコシステムとして、モバイルのこのペイメントの仕組み、メルペイというサービスというのを提供というのを今準備している状況になっております。で、最後にですね、US と UK の状況でございますけれども、まだまだスタートをしてですね、US の方が今3年ぐらいになっていますけれども、大体今4000万ダウンロードぐらいという規模になっておりまして、徐々に伸びてきている状況です。また、イギリスに関しましては、去年からスタートしている状況なので、まだ非常に小さいんですけれども、従業員30名ぐらいで、徐々にですね、今増やしていっているといった状況になっています。この世界中でこの物が捨てられている状況というのは変わらないというふうに思っていますし、スマートフォンが普及しているというのも変わらないというふうに思っていますので、どの国の人であってもですね、その物を捨てずにスマートフォンで売買できる、こういう仕組みを提供していきたいというふうに思っておりますし、将来的には日本でいろんな簡単なものが海外の人に買われるでありますとか、その海外の人同士のこのトランザクションというものがですね、起きるような社会というのを提供していきたいというふうに考えております。すべてこの私たちのミッションを達成するために、これまでもスタートアップ5年という短い時間ながら歩んできましたし、これからもこのミッションを追うために、世界中でサービスを提供していきたいというふうに思っております。で、最後になりますけれども、こちらですね、子どもがですね、実際のフリーマーケットをやっている写真です。で、これは私たちの会社がですね、日本全国で、毎月のようにですね、子ども向けのフリーマーケットをやっています。で、アプリのインターネットの会社がなんで実際にフリーマーケットをやっているかという状況なんですけれども、やはり子どもの頃に受けた教育、教えというのは非常に重要かなというふうに思っております。このような子どもたちだけでですね、行われるフリーマーケットが、日本全国で行われることによりまして、物を捨てるのがもったいない、もしくはこういうリユースの文化を作るということと、このお金をですね、子どもながらに稼ぐというお金の教育のためにも非常に重要かなというふうに思っております。このような子どもたちがリユースでありますとか、 お金の大事さということを学ぶことによりまして、将来20年後30年後彼らがですね、より身近にですねこういうリユースの社会というのを実現を引っ張っていってくれるんじゃないかなというふうに思い、このような活動をしています。非常に私たちの会社はまだまだ5年という短い会社でありますけれども、かなりその社会の変化としまして、大量生産大量消費の資本主義的なアプローチからある程度この社会が循環され、そういう中でどうやって企業が永続的にですね発展するかというのをメッセージとうまく織り込めた形になって成長してこれたかなというふうに思ってますし、今後もですねこのような活動というのを継続していきたいというふうに考えております。はい、どうもご清聴ありがとうございました。
Wow, absolutely fascinating. We are glimpsing the future, and I can see so many issues and thoughts, I hope, bubbling in your own minds that suddenly we are all becoming part of trading, the virtue of reuse and the value of that rather than throwing away. But then the dilemmas of creating more and more stuff in the marketplace, interesting issues, and suddenly the whole digital world creating opportunities the like of which we've never seen before. This is an interesting world into which we are trying to place the circularity paradigm. Used to be easy when you just had big companies that sold stuff and it was quite simple. We're now going to hear from two great corporations, huge market penetration, their success built upon serving consumer needs with products, and think about how they are seeing their role within the issue of circularity. Interesting to hear what your reaction is. So I'm going to start with a company that every day 2.5 billion people, consumers, purchase from 400 brands in 190 countries from this company that has huge influence in the marketplace. What is their thinking on sustainability, on circularity issues? What an influencer in the marketplace. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning, delighted to invite to the platform to share some thoughts Mr. Kitayama, who's the Representative Director and General Counsel of Unilever Japan Holdings. Great to have you with us and interested to hear your presentation and your thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you for a very wonderful introduction to my company. So, good morning. My name is Kitajima. So I'm from Unilever Japan. So today, I would like to touch upon some of our business strategy of the sustainability and also new challenge. Yes, as Peter mentioned, we are consumer goods companies, and we are producing and selling some of the personal cares and home cares, food and refreshments like Lipton and ice creams. So this is our purpose and visions: make sustainable living commonplace. From our founders, William Lever, he started his business with some of the soap to make the cleanness in commonplace to solve the social problems. That's why sustainability was that as my heart of our business. And also our purpose is to make sustainable living commonplace, and we are aimed to grow business while reducing the environment footprint and increasing positive social impact. So, and we set our sustainable business living plan, so-called USLP, in 2010. And this has three big pillars, as you see in my slide. And also we set over the 50 targets each for the pillars, and all the targets is implemented into the business KPIs in terms of the sales and the marketing and the supply chain and other functions. So, and by the 2017, we made a very good progress. For example, by the end of 2017, waste from our manufacturing has been reduced by 98%. And more than 33% of our total energy use across our manufacturing operations now comes from the renewable energy sources. Especially in Unilever Japan, we switched in November 2015, making it also the powers in our the offices, factories, to the shift to the renewable energy sources. So, as I explained, our sustainable business plan made good progress. But however, no business can change the world in isolations. So we recognize that we need to scale our impact through the partnership, collaboration, and trust to make this world truly sustainable. So one of our key challenges that would require some collaborative effort is creating a circular economy of the plastics. So in 2017, we add to our this Universal Sustainability Plan new our commitment in terms of the plastics. That is that is all our plastics packagings will be designated to be fully reusable, recyclable, or compostable by 2025. And also, we also committed to using a minimum of 20% recycled content in our plastic packaging by 2025 to help create an market for the material and to support a shift to the circular economies. Maybe you are aware it's quite so aggressive or a very higher target challenges. So in order to realize such targets, we have 5 approaches. First is rethinking how we design our products. Second, driving the systemic change at industrial levels. Third, working with the government. Fourth, working with the consumers and exploring innovative approaches to the new business models. So let me explain one by one shortly. So rethinking how we design our products. This approach has 3 elements. First is reducing our used materials itself. Second, using almost recycled the content. Third, ensuring our packaging is recyclable or compostable. So these products, some lax products, we have already using some of the recycled the raw materials. We are thinking the plastics. We do not the plastic the use of products is a waste, but some of the resource of the new the products and new raw materials. We thinking. And driving systemic change at the industrial levels. It's some collaborating with the Ellen MacArthur Foundation and the industry. So that kind of collaboration is also published and reported. And this is some aiming to keep some transparency for our activities for the reducing the plastics. Third is working with the governments. Due to time constraints, I skip the details of the explanation. But in several countries, we are co-working with the governments to take some initiatives to reduce the plastic materials. And fourth is working with the consumers. For circular economy, and collecting and sorting the recycled materials plays an important part in ensuring they can be reused. So especially consumers, therefore, have a vital role in the circular economy. We have a number of the projects so they encourage consumers to recycle more and to help people to make recycling a life habit. So this is the photo is like the example in the project in Indonesia to co-work with some of the community to create some of the community waste banks. That's kind of the activities that we are rolling out this in worldwide. And the fifth, the approach is exploring the innovative approaches. Because we are looking for the very breakthrough technology, and very happy to collaborate or partnership with such kind of technology companies to approach the highest target. So that's the brief explanation of our sustainable business strategy and approach to how to reduce plastic waste. And toward more circular economy, this is not the burden or like tasks or like obligation of the companies, but that's some of the benefits for the companies. Because through the activities of the sustainability or reducing plastic waste, we can such kind of activities help you to create some of the innovations or change of the way of workings and new ways, find new ways. And they are helping to reduce some risks and reduce the costs and support your more growth and more trust. So again, I would like to emphasize transparency is a power, because I just explained our the sustainable goals made good progress, but such progress has been reported in the officialized in public. That's kind of the attitude is quite important to create the consumer trust, what we are and how we should do in the future. That's why transparency is a power. So, and final, let's think positively and embrace risks to towards the circular economies. As I mentioned, this is a very good chance, good opportunity for us to shift our business activities to make more brighter future to achieve the circular economies. And regarding, for example, the plastic waste matters. Just one of our good opportunity to consider how we are moving to the circulation economies. So, by the way, this final illustration is drawn by me, by myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kitajima. I personally always admire the action taken by the Unilever, of course, in the circular economy issue and also in climate actions. The Unilever is always front runner of these actions. But I see through his presentation, Kitajima-san's presentation, that the business actually have a potential for the impacting the change in consumer behavior through the product and service. It's really, interesting to listen to that. So now we have another front runner, of business, that is the Coca-Cola. I think everyone knows, of course, the Coca-Cola. No needless to say that to explain their businesses. But I also very much impressed by the action taken by Coca-Cola. Just one example is that they already committed to take on the climate target, their own, consisting with the Paris 2-degree long-term target. So now I'd like to invite Mr. Tito Francisco, Executive Vice President, Coca-Cola. So you have the floor.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction, Takamura-san. Good morning. My name is Tito Francisco. I work for the Coca-Cola Company in Japan as General Manager of the technical function. I am very honored to be here today to discuss with you this pressing, yet innovative and transformational agenda, plastics, which we all know is a very important packaging element in beverages. I will also discuss our role in creating a circular economy in this domain. I'm going to share with you the Coca-Cola Company's approach to tackle this modern-day environmental theme, and I would like to start with a video. In January 2018, just earlier this year, the Coca-Cola Company announced a bold, ambitious goal to help collect and recycle the equivalent of every bottle or can it sells globally by the year 2030. This goal is the centerpiece of a new packaging vision, World Without Waste, which the Coca-Cola system intends to back with a multi-year investment that includes ongoing work to make its packaging 100% recyclable by the year 2025. We have 3 pillars in our new packaging strategy to realize world without waste. The first pillar of this new packaging strategy is design. We invest in innovation to build a better package and explore packaging-free alternatives for delivering our products to consumers. We aspire to create packaging that is at least 50% from recycled material by the year 2030, and will continue to work to make all packaging 100% recyclable by the year 2025. The second pillar is collect, where we reduce waste by collecting the same amount of packaging we sell for reuse. We will strive for 100% collection of the equivalent of our primary packaging by the year 2030. Finally, the third pillar is partner, where we work together with key stakeholders to support a healthy, debris-free environment and oceans. We aim to fundamentally change how we design, collect, and partner with others to help recycle packaging across our entire system. We believe that every package has value and life beyond its initial use and should be collected and recycled into either a new package or for another beneficial use. Now, I would like to walk you through what the Coca-Cola Japan company has been working on under our World Without Waste commitment. In terms of design, 18% of PET used in our bottles today is recycled PET. Moreover, most of our consumer packaging is currently recyclable. Let me now give you a concrete example of how we embed our sustainable design innovation into our products here in Japan. We have our natural mineral water, right here, branded Ilohas. It is sourced from 6 beautiful sites across the country. We developed the eco-friendly and easy-to-dispose package design in the year 2009 for this product. Ultralight, easy to crush after use. Of course, it has to be empty. If I tried to do it right now, I'd make a mess on this stage. All of our Ilohas PET bottles contain up to 30% plant-based PET. This product has been awarded in Japan and globally for its innovative and sustainable design. As our Ilohas demonstrates, sustainability branding is going to be the major driver for our business to ensure we are committed to realize world without waste, and to bring our customers and consumers to be with us by realizing sustainability from their everyday lives. In order to promote the use of recycled PET within Japan further, we believe that collaboration between the government, academia, and industry is needed to institute a state-of-the-art supply chain capability so that we all can commit to realize a circular economy. Our next pillar in realizing world without waste is collect. And our nationwide collection rate here in Japan is 89% currently, which is actually one of the highest in the world. As a contribution to this effort, since the 1970s, we have installed disposal boxes adjacent to the many vending machines we have all over the country as one of the pioneers in collection in sustainability. We also help to propel cooperative collection initiatives and sustainability by helping the establishment of the Beverage Industry Environmental Beautification Association. In terms of the last pillar, partner, we have been participating in the local cleanup activities across Japan since the 1970s, and the international coastal cleanup activities in partnering with Ocean Conservancy since 2007. Just 2 weeks ago, 400 of us colleagues of Coca-Cola Japan cleaned the ocean debris in Okinawa. We also disseminate our ideas to realize world without waste to key stakeholders, such as with Japan Soft Drink Association and the PET Recycling Association. Last but not least, as a consumer goods company, we will continue to pursue ways to leverage our brands and products to promote our circular economy efforts, such as what we have done with Ilohas. I would like to highlight, though, that we cannot do this alone. Therefore, I, on behalf of the Coca-Cola system, would like to take this opportunity to invite all of you to work together with us as one to address this highly important global problem. Important for us, not only today, of course, but important for our future generations. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu.
I stand here as a consumer, one of 7.6 billion on this planet. Fascinating, interesting hearing some of the stretch targets and activities as corporations begin to realize impacts of their activities and what they're doing to be part of that circular world. Exciting, huge influence that these sort of nudges in the marketplace can have. Is that enough? Are there other dilemmas we face? And in our last section this morning, I mean maybe just want to reflect, are we on that course towards circularity and sustainability? I, as a consumer, can now relax because the goods and services I purchase are being thoughtfully provided to me, and I'm part of that circularity. Or is there an elephant in the room? Is the whole business of consumption, that whole model, raise issues and challenges for us? To offer us some thoughts on that, we have a double act to finish this session off. First of all, Louis Akenji, Director for Sustainable Consumption and Production at EGES, and also we have Anu Menti, a leading specialist in Citra. Can I relax in my bed, happily consuming, or are there more issues we need to think about in the world of circularity? Great to have you both with us.
Thank you, Peter. No, you cannot relax. So I have a question. Let's say you went to a supermarket this morning to get your breakfast, and all you wanted was jam. And you walked in and you're stunned by 1,000 eco-labels, and you have to spend time selecting. Just pick one, they say. There's a sign of recyclable on it. There's an eco-label on it. And you just get confused, paralysis, and you end up being dissatisfied with what you get anyway. So this leads to my first message. We are not going to get circular by simply sticking an eco label on a plastic bottle. And it kind of makes me wonder, why would you need to sell bottled water in a country like Japan where the water is so clean, just so we can create plastic and then recycle it? Right, so let's look at the shape of tomorrow. One of my first messages I'm going to give you is that we have heavily underestimated the challenge ahead of us. And unfortunately, there's a pattern where we're being summarily looked at as consumers rather than families, households, communities, people that want to go about their everyday living. Now, what does tomorrow look like? I'm going to start with the work that is being done at the Institute by some of our colleagues. We used to ask the question, what is it to be or not to be? And then we're in an era of materialism where we say to have or not to have. So I ask you, is the question to be or to have? Because what we're noticing here is a flattening of trends as we go along. The first one is the flattening of trend between what it is to be a consumer and a producer. We know of co-creation prosumers nowadays. Trends between social trends and individualization. We know of mass customization, for example. Ownership structures are also beginning to change. So we know of the share economy, which is very popular. And there's beginning to be a merging of online and offline living, where we talk of, for example, work-life balance. Now, we see that trends are flattening. What used to be information is now being transferred to knowledge through, for example, apps, as has been prepared here, as has been presented here. But where is this taking us? What does the 2050 look like if we really want to achieve what we're calling, in this case, circularity? So this is beautiful work done by one of my colleagues at the Institute. And if you look here, we talk to experts all around the world who are working on futures. And what you can see here, asking them is, what can we expect to see towards 2050? And I have here 3 key clusters that begin to show an example of the world we will live in once you get towards 2050. It's not going to wait until 2050 and jump at you. It's slowly going to progress towards this unless we change things. The first one is you see issues like climate change, resource issues, population movements. These are the sort of constraints we're going to be getting related to natural resources and the environment. The other one here is we're beginning to look at gaps, inequality, polarization in societies, and demographic changes, which are going to cause a lot of tension. And the last one, of course, we can talk a lot about technology, we can talk a lot about evolving society, but if it evolves too fast and leaves us behind, what you call the joie de vivre starts getting sucked out of us. This is quite important to consider as we're crafting solutions. The next one is work we've done with colleagues at DMAT and Aalto University, supported thankfully by Citra, there's Anu here, and Marcus. We've tried to work together to look at different scenarios that have been published and peer-reviewed. The question being, if you flip this and look at it not from a supply-side perspective, and you analyze from a demand-side perspective, consumption, so to say, how does it look like living from where we are now towards 2100, or just say towards 2050, if we're talking about a 1.5-degree aspirational target that is set for us by the IPCC? What you see very clearly is you leave from where we are around 4.5 tons on average per capita per year, and we need to decrease our emissions. By 2030, we should be at 3 tons per capita per person. By 2040, we should be at 2 tons. And by 2050, we should be at 1 ton per capita per person. I kind of feel bad for anyone thinking of going on a date. You buy a new jacket, you go have a nice dinner steak, and you drive back home, and you've exhausted your budget. So how does this look like? This is where we are today. I'm sorry, I think on my feet, so I need to get the microphone. This is where we are today for some countries. There's Finland. I think Finland suddenly recognizes that they have a problem. This is why they're organizing the circular economy. And Japan, too. So I think this is really the right countries to collaborate on this. But it's not only them, right? There's also China and Brazil. and developing countries. So it's not just an issue of developed countries. Now, that's our 2030 target. We need to get there by, we need to get to 3 tons. And that is our 2050 target. How does it look like? About 83% reduction. How will you get to this? By putting water in plastic bottles and then recycling the plastic. And it's not just for developed countries. It is also for developing countries. This is India right here, and it still needs to reduce. Mind you, we're talking about these reductions in a context where there's a growing middle class, and we still need to meet the basic needs of billions of people. And there is a growing population. So we're heavily underestimating what we have here, the magnitude of the challenge. We're going to need intense capacity building, not just for companies and governments, but for individuals to accept the kind of solutions that we're going to be proposing here. Circular economy, Peter, you cannot relax. Now, we're caught in a small action trap where we say recycle this, recycle that. That's not enough. Or we're putting all our faith in technology. It is not going to solve the problem. We need to take a hard and look at ourselves and ask the question of whether we really need to be consuming the things we're consuming, or whether we even need to be producing them in the first place. And it is really nice to talk all the time that the consumer has to make the right choice. It's not that easy. We cannot keep blaming it on consumers all the time. Now, how do we frame solutions going forward? We need to remember here, people don't consume because they want to go out and ruin the environment or pollute water, or companies don't even produce plastic because they want to pollute the environment. That is not what I am saying. We just are trying to meet essential needs sometimes. Sometimes it's social expectations. I want to dress nice and look at my friend and have a coffee. Sometimes it's personal desires. I really like Ferrari, so maybe I need to get one. And sometimes it's because we have no other option but just to consume the way we're given. But what does this say going towards solutions? As we keep this in mind, we've come up with a study that we're doing together with DMAT, as I mentioned before, and CITRA, which is going to be published towards the end of this year or early next year. And we have within it, we've reviewed 3 key modes that we can support the transition towards circular economy. The first one is to shift, a modal shift, from where we are currently to low carbon options. The second one is to improve the things that are existing, but which we can't change completely anyway and make them more efficient. And the third one is absolute reductions, where we either need to completely avoid certain options or reduce the amounts of those that we're consuming. I am going to try to rush through this, but one example I just want to give is, imagine a situation where Japan and Finland suddenly decide they're going to make large changes, or households in these countries are going to make large changes in society. If only 30% of Japanese, for example, started going shopping or having leisure without driving a car, they're going to save about 15.4% of current emissions in the mobility area. Or if Finns did the same, they would save about 26%. Or they can try to improve the efficiency and use electric vehicles because the carbon intensity of the grids here is pretty low. Or, I really hope my boss is looking at this, teleworking. Try to work from home. Don't go to the office all the time and relax. It is going to help us get closer to our target in 2050. The last one I want to put out here as you think of solutions, and this is why I've been asking the questions. I'm not trying to be nasty, forgive me. We cannot get up every day and tell consumers, if you get enough information, that is going to lead to a change. Information without tools does not help. Information without capacity development does not help. Information without options does not help. So, as we are trying to give the information and change the attitudes of consumers, there are 2 other things that are extremely important. The second one is what I call the facilitators. These are prices of products. These are policies that we're putting in place. This is what municipalities are doing. These are the low carbon options, laws, economic systems, what the media is saying. And the last one is actually making sure that we have the products for them to consume, or we have the more sustainable options for them. If we cannot get these 3 things working together, it is going to be very difficult to get up every day and say consumers should change. Thank you.
Thank you, Louis, and good morning. My name is Anu Mänty, and I'm a senior lead at the Finnish Innovation Fund, Sitra. So let's take a look at what's going on in Finland at the moment in the area of citizen activism and in our interest towards circular lifestyles. There's a saying, what you measure is what you get. For example, it's nearly impossible to lose weight without stepping on the scale every now and then while measuring your results. Hundreds of thousands of citizens are now exploring tools and methods to measure our impact of our lifestyles and consumption to natural resources. The choices we make, how we work, what we eat, what we consume, as we've heard this morning, have all a tremendous impact on our environment. Everything we do matters, and how big or small, this all adds to the massive amounts of CO2 per capita year on year. So this particular picture was taken 10 months ago in the science center Eureka in Helsinki. This is the day when we launched our lifestyle test for the Finnish citizens to take in order to measure their carbon footprints and understand what kind of impact their lifestyles have on this planet. So at Sitra, we wanted to ask a few simple questions. What are the most popular type of tests online that gets widely shared on social media? It seems that there's a strong interest to understand how such things as where do we stand, what is our capacity to perform and to contribute. The best of the tests are easy to take, they speak our language, and they reveal something good in us. Best of the tests become standards and internationally well known. Okay, we saw that there were a lot of carbon footprint calculators out there, but results were not well tied to the tips and advice on what I should do in order to cut my footprint. If the advice was given, the message was too often about giving up or living a green life that didn't quite sound my life. So traditional marketing talks about curiosity gaps, which are about desires to understand something strange and puzzling and to learn something new in order to get that pleasure rush. Our studies revealed that there is a strong correlation between Finnish values and our capacity to understand the magnitude of the challenge at hand. But we are just way too slow in moving from words to action. So we decided to invite everyone to explore our two best-kept secrets, and those are our lifestyles good or bad for the environment, and why don't we change? So our honest questions make us look inward and investigate our reality. Moments of deep reflection can be incredibly emotional. And is it even possible for me to cut my carbon footprint into half and improve my quality of life? These are big questions. And what are the constraints and how to overcome them? So our lifestyle test has now been taken over 460,000 times during the past 10 months. And this is about 10% of our population. Good news travel fast, and we are now helping government, municipalities, businesses in Finland and abroad to apply our approach in a number of different ways. Let's take a look at the results. A unique visitor on our test page spends only 3 to 5 minutes of their time. They spend this time in order to just find out what their impact is, and I don't think we are asking too much. So on top of that, we give those 100 great ways to live more sustainably, and on those pages, people spend 6 to 8 minutes. I don't think that we're still asking too much from all of us in order to understand where do we stand and what can I do in order to improve. Over 60% of people take this test on their mobile phones, so you can do it wherever you are, and and most of the testers are at the age of 25 to 44. So really like the segments who are in the middle of consumption and can make a big difference based on their choices. So what do we see here? We see that only 3% of the people in Finland are really like the people who are threats from the past, who still keep on consuming like there is no tomorrow. But only 2% at the moment meet the 1.5 degrees circular lifestyles. So we have hope there, but I think we should see a bigger number in coming years in this particular segment. And then what about 95% of us? As we've heard this morning, we want to be in 1 ton by 2050. We want everyone to hold 3 tons in 2030, and it's only 11 years of time we can take action. What we did, we analyzed our own data and social media conversations, and we found out that people find it really hard to know where to start, and what are the most impactful actions, and how to switch from overconsumption to more sustainable life goals. We also saw that when people started taking measures, what they were speaking about, and we helped them to express it in numbers, they started suddenly knowing more about it. And this is an important point. So the next question is that, so is it possible to turn this "we don't have time" and "how big is my footprint" conversation to a powerful plan? People are hardwired to value things and experiences that they perceive to be rare or in short supply. Scarcity is tied to self-worth. Acquiring something uncommon in demand can make us feel really powerful. So in the next phase, we are planning to ask the following questions. How much time and money do I need as an individual to complete my carbon plan? What are the habits that are easiest to change, and which are the ones that will take more time and effort to complete? Which parts of my carbon footprint are good to compensate? And then what are the biggest mistakes to avoid, and where to seek for support and inspiration? So here we are. I'd like to end my part by sharing how much footprint data we have processed in just 10 months. So it's over 10 megatons of consumption-based CO2. It's a big number, isn't it? And we're a small nation. Maybe if you can imagine what you could do in other countries, you get an idea. So what does this mean? I think the key question here is, and takeaway from this session is that, how can we help these people to have their footprints by 2030 in order to save 1.5 megatons of CO2, which is about 10% of the goals set for Finland in the Paris Agreement. Thank you. Kiitos. Arigato.
Thank you.
Goodness me, at the start of this morning we said we wanted this session to raise some issues, challenge us, give us some thoughts. You have been loyal consumers of what you have heard up here, probably loyal consumers of your mobile phones as well, probably purchasing a reused good or thinking which session you will go to next. I'd like to put the spotlight on you. Can we have the house lights up, please? Wonderful. Welcome. Just be interested, just to kind of, I want this conversation to carry on through the rest of this conference and beyond. Just interested from this presentation. You, personally, one of 7.6 billion people on this planet, you, not them, you, is your lifestyle good or bad for the environment? Yes, no, I've never really thought about it. Okay, is your lifestyle, you sitting here, your lifestyle good, bad, or I've never really thought about it? Okay, here we go. I'm going to do an instant show of hands. Is your lifestyle good for the environment? Ah, we love you. Okay, is your lifestyle bad for the environment? I'm there. Okay. Have you never really thought about it?
Awesome.
Okay, okay. Second one. This is addressing those who said, including me, that my lifestyle, I know, is bad for the environment. Are you bothered? Am I worried about that, concerned about that? Am I not concerned about that? Okay, so for those who said I am or are concerned about the impact I have on the environment, are you bothered about it? Yes? Okay, I'm not bothered about it. Okay, interesting. Just come and join us for a second. There might be a microphone there. Someone will sort you out with the microphone. So interesting, in our completely unrepresentative people who've come halfway around the planet in order to discuss circularity. And it's maybe interesting, just get a comment from you. I mean, one of the fascinating things is I love the thought of people like Unilever and Coca-Cola doing the heavy lifting for me, so that they are doing lots of thoughts into the packaging and all the rest of it. But it feels as though that still isn't quite enough. Would I be right?
Do you want me to give you an answer that makes you feel good, or the honest answer?
No, I just, this is my moment. I eat meat, okay? I am in a moment of dilemma.
Peter, we're not going to dance around this. It is hard, but we have to face the facts.
Right.
Now, the unfortunate thing is we have companies that have presented that are making an effort. They do realize there is a problem, and they're making an effort. Yeah. There are businesses that are not here. They're not even thinking about it because they think they can have a free ride on resources, and we still get to those targets. The point is, we need to start essentially asking the question whether business is a part of the solution or part of the problem. Is your product adding a value to the consumer or not? Is it making people's lives better, and is it healthy for the environment? If the answer is no, the product doesn't have any business being around anyway.
Interesting. I just wonder, Yukari, just interested whether this is throwing some thoughts in your mind as you are involved in environmental advising in Japan.
I think that is a very good question. The business is a part of problem or the solution. I think that could be both, but the business could provide definitely the solution, in my view. So, but still, a lot of things have to be done. I think I agree, and especially I have impressed by the suggestion that partnership is quite important. Partnership between businesses and also partnership between business and consumers, and of course research.
And I'm particularly struck when I'm in Japan that this is an amazing consumer society. I've never seen vending machines with such
5.5 million vending machines.
5.5, and our student yesterday said, I want my vending machine to recycle things. There was no question at all, I don't want vending machines, I still want to be able to choose from 60 products. It's one of those very interesting things of this choice, the consumer power, and I think the fascinating thing also, just maybe a further comment, is that we are the mature, or those in more advanced economies. We've got our fridges, we've got our electric drills. It's an interesting thing. There's a huge market out there for the goods and services. So it's not just about me and what I do, but it's a huge trend in society, isn't it?
Well, there's something which researchers like to call, this is making life unnecessarily complicated. They call it choice architecture. It's really what allows us to choose the things that we choose, or what are the options that are out there in the market, and how do we procure the products or the services that we need. And part of the point here is the choice architecture that we currently have is so perverse that it doesn't leave us with very sustainable options. If I, for example, would like to visit my grandma, most of the options I have are driving there, flying there, and so on. Well, fortunately, I live in Japan, so the public transportation is just, I live in Yokohama, by the way, so the public transportation is just wonderful. But there are places where you have no option but to drive such distances. Or if you go to the market and you're looking for a sustainable product, you, the healthy or the more sustainable consumer, you're being punished to filter through so many options. And the guy that doesn't really care about it just struts in, gets the cheaper one, and walks out. So we're making it more difficult for the do-gooder. Things like vending machines and so on, this is part of the constellation of what really is, I wouldn't necessarily say a problem, but we need to revisit whether this is facilitating that movement towards a 1.5-degree lifestyle, or it is just tying us down to ways of doing things that do not allow us to change.
Yeah. Makes sense, Yukari?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
okay. So our aim in this session was partly just to raise some issues. At one level, circular economy is an incredibly simple concept. Once you start getting into it, it starts posing questions. Now, you either get posed questions and start feeling uncomfortable and powerless, or actually these awkward questions, like things about consumption, become exciting questions about the challenge. So my takeaway from this is don't feel daunted by this consumer consumption issue. It's part of the picture, but if we're to find a mature approach moving forward, we need to embrace this issue. Is unfettered consumption in a circular economy possible, good, wonderful, jobs, wealth, all the rest of it? Or do we actually have to be careful that that circle doesn't become an ultimately unsustainable spiral? So maybe that's some of the dilemmas for us. A final comment from you, Lou.
Well, I have too many comments to not make. So one of the things I was going to say is this is a very short time to discuss such a complex and complicated issue. Tomorrow from 9 a.m., we're going at room 413. If I have it wrong, my colleagues don't kill me. We're going to have time to really unfold this conversation and discuss what options are there on the table and what international approach we're putting in place to start addressing this problem head on.
Right. Even you're into sales, aren't you? So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you've been absorbed, fascinated, some great examples of stretch work taking place. How much further do we need to stretch for now? Could I thank all our speakers and our panelists for their contribution. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Practical information.
Say about what happens next in headsets.
Yeah, exactly. So, as usual, I'd like to announce the practical and logistic information to you. First point at today's program. Now we go to the, the coffee break until 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, our parallel session starts, and then it ends at 12:30. And we have a lunch break from 12:30 to 2 o'clock of the afternoon. And then we go another, the breakup session today. So we all gather here, to the closing session at 4. I'd love to, everyone join us. So the second very important, maybe most important information that please ensure that your headset to be returned at the entrance, please. Thank you.
Brilliant. And we're 25 down from yesterday, so they are low value to you, but high cost to the organizers. Okay? Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.